Welcome back once again to the Old World Paranormal Podcast, episode 85. As some of you that follow us, you notice that episode 84 is nowhere to be found yet. There's a reason for that.
Huge reason.
Well, actually, it is a huge reason. A huge reason is that episode 84 was very video and photographic heavy. I don't think it really makes for a great audio podcast. So we're going to have it exclusively on our YouTube channel. I've been trying to edit it as much as I could, but it still doesn't make sense because there was so much to talk about and so much to look at that was 90% of the podcast. So that's going to be available up on our YouTube channel. I'm going to fling that up there probably tonight or tomorrow morning before I go to work. That will officially be episode 84. So this will be 85 anyway. Episode 84 will be forever missing from the lineup. When you look up the podcast, where did it go?
Missing, like aliens.
It was abducted by aliens. Yeah, I know, right?
Bro. Yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't even know what to think of that guy.
I don't either, but I did tune into his radio station this morning. It was pretty cool to hear him doing his thing on the Mountain Country
That's
station.
Right. He is a country DJ.
Yep. I happened to see that link this morning and I clicked it and he was on this morning. So it was pretty cool to hear him. He's got a face for radio just like me. Speaking of face for radio, the person who coined that, we got to see them this weekend as we got to spend an evening with Bump in the Night Society at the Monroe House. That was my second time there, Nick's first. So we finally got Nick in the hole.
Sean Bowman had to pop my cherry.
Yeah. And we had a great time. Last time we went, not much happened, but I can't say the same for this weekend because we had a lot of amazing stuff going on. So definitely, it seems to me that that's the kind of place you got to have for at least a couple days. I think we were fortunate enough that they were there the day before and stirred everything up for us. But yeah, it was interesting. Definitely a cool place. Like to take just our team there for a couple nights. That'd be cool.
Oh, absolutely. I think we'll definitely book the Monroe House for us, OWPS team. Over the weekend, it was definitely an interesting weekend. I mean, obviously, if you see us on the social medias, you saw that we were at the Unity 5 convention all day Saturday, and it's a great convention. It's not like your star-studded lineup like you'll see at OSR or Michigan Paracon or New Jersey Expo, stuff like that. This is, the Para-Unity here in Peru, Indiana. It's a special event. It's special to us because, one, it's in Indiana. But the second is because it is run each year by a different paranormal team. And every year it gets a little bigger, a little better. And it's fun to get all the teams here in Indiana together that we talk to quite often, but we don't see too often, and get to hang out with them for a day and
hang out next to Santiago Cirillo for an
entire
day. Where you
yeah
Santi.
plus or minus 50 hi-yas on Saturday, Sean.
Plus,
yeah, I would say.
Yeah, there were lots of hi-yas going on for the old hi-ya nation. Santi is a crazy guy, but he's a good dude. Always fun to see him. And of course, this week we've got the Lerner Theater coming up, where we're going to be OWPS is going to be the special in-house guides for what are they showing? Hocus Pocus, the movie they're going to be showing Hocus Pocus, and then after that we're going to be taking a group of, I believe, up to 100 people through the Lerner Theater and talking about the theater, the spookiness, and all that stuff. So that ought to be pretty fantastic. And then on Saturday, we head to our event, Middle Point School, Middle Point, Ohio. Really excited about this one.
Looking forward to it. I love the activity of Middle Point School. Love the activity, and this is why I chose this location. So, Saturday night before Halloween is spooky season, people. I mean, this is going to be a great time, great event. Hopefully we sell out. We still have about 10 tickets left. We'll have to push that out here the rest of the week.
And 10 tickets left won't last long. So if you're looking to come over and join us, Middle Point, Ohio, this Saturday, reach out to Nick Carboni on Facebook. Shoot him a message. Tell him how many tickets you want. You get a free T-shirt and free snacks. So bonus.
Absolutely. Can't, I mean, $50, can't beat that. Investigate from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. and you get a free T-shirt.
And not only that, you get to investigate with us. I mean,
right.
That's worth the price right there.
Best goddamn team in Indiana.
Yeah,
right?
I'd say so. I don't disagree.
My head just got a little bigger, but
it did. I don't know if that's possible. It's now filling up the entire frame.
It is on the Zoom meeting.
Before it was only 3/4, but so that's what we got coming up here in the very near future.
Oh, you're forgetting Sunday night. You're forgetting Sunday night.
Oh, Sunday night, trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat at the Chateau on Broadway. I guess now they're going to shut down the fucking street. They're going to shut down the street. I guess.
We're going to rename it Old World Avenue for the night.
They're going to take away the Broadway girls and bring out the Halloween stuff.
I want Broadway girls. I wasn't aware of this change. Close the street, bring in the Broadway girls. But yes, that will also be fun. Get to see all the little kids and the adults in their Halloween costumes. What are you going to dress as, Nick? Anything?
I mean, look at me already. I'm already scary. So I think I'll go as myself.
Kind of like a penis with ears. I'm not going to dress as anything but a paranormal investigator. It's going to be me.
Why is everything a penis with you?
Have you looked in the mirror lately?
I don't understand.
I don't know. Ever since the Stephanie O'Reilly.
We're in Peru and he's talking about wieners. And then find out there's a giant wiener in downtown Peru. So I don't know.
Yeah, we never did go see it. I needed a picture.
Also, one more thing before we bring on our guest, and this is a very interesting guest for myself.
Oh boy!
So we'll see where this goes. I bear with me on this episode 85. I've been under the weather the past 2 weeks, so if I start coughing, I'll try to mute the mic. But one more thing, November 4th and 5th, Mid-Michigan Paracon. You can come up and see me. In the Old World Paranormal Society team podcast. Come hang out with us. This is the first time we'll be at Mid-Michigan. I'm looking forward to it to see how this event goes, and we'll see if we make this an annual event. But all right, Sean. So over the weekend, we were at the mysterious demon house, the Monroe House, and our guest was at another demonic location, the Hinsdale House. Now, talking with her the past couple of days, she's had some very interesting things she's going to tell us about the Hinsdale House and what she's doing on the East Coast right now. So, John, do you want to introduce our guest?
Absolutely. She has been just about everywhere here in the last week alone, it seems, because she is paranormal road tripping with none other than Brie Hollingshead of Paranormal Road Tripping with Brie. Be like Brie. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And where are you at right now on your travels at this very moment?
Right now I am based out of Middletown, Connecticcut.
Connecticut.
Yep. I'll be here for the worst traffic ever. I'll be stuck here for the next 2 weeks. Before my 3rd week, I start making my way back to Indiana.
Making my way downtown. Oh, sorry.
Oh, God. Oh, God. And this episode is brought to you by.
Well, that's pretty cool because we got to see you here locally. What was it? A week and a half, 2 weeks ago?
A week ago.
Friday. Week ago Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a week ago on Friday.
Yeah, so we got to see you for a while, so that was definitely pretty cool. And now you've made your way halfway across the country. So what are you doing up in Connecticut? What's going on up there?
So right now I'm in the middle of my Halloween special with my road trip. Every day I'll be finding a historically haunted location, going live from it, giving the historical background, the haunting background. Today I hit up the Fairfield Hills State Hospital, which was a psychiatric hospital from 1931 to 1995. So
So I saw pictures of that today, Sean. Holy shit.
that was a walk. It's about the size of Penhurst with all the buildings. I got like over 10,000 steps.
So is this place just sitting empty? Like nobody's they're not doing anything with it, or what are they doing?
Well, the town of Newtown, Connecticut actually purchased the property in 2004, and they've converted some of the buildings into municipal buildings. They've also built new buildings on the acreage. And then the rest of the buildings that are not in use, they're sealed off from the public. So, I mean, I
See
wish they would.
some of the pictures here that it looks like it's in pretty rough condition. Some of these buildings.
Yeah, that's only like 10 of them. I've got like 60 pictures from the location.
No,
It
so you're
does
going
look
down on
extra
them.
spooky.
Yeah, like there was a couple. There's one that when I was walking around it, like I actually saw movement in the top floor, saw a shadow moving, heard voices. So it was pretty interesting. I mean, it's a park too, so I was like trying to make sure there wasn't anybody around me. Like I was doing laps around this building, and it was a big damn building to do laps around and make sure nobody was there.
Hmm. Now, like some places, do they have security on site, or how does that work since some of the buildings are actually in use?
I actually had a soccer coach because they've like turned it into a park area. They've put a lot of pathways in. Like there's a baseball diamond, there's a um soccer field, there's different things there for like families, different health offices, municipal offices.
Hmm.
That's where you would go for voting. And a soccer team was out on the field actually practicing, and I had a coach come up to me and was telling me that they used to have, and he pointed out the building to me, that it used to be heavily secure, like people couldn't come on. And but they did away with that, and they've gotten like a lot more lax about the buildings and people being there. But like there's two buildings that are actually fenced off due to the structural integrity, but the rest are all locked, or they're supposed to be locked at least.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I was chomping at the bit to try to figure out how to get in, but I was like, nah, I don't feel like I didn't feel like having to make phone calls and say I need bail today. So
Oh, bolt cutters.
Right.
they
Oh,
were
do
already
not
cut
do that,
actually.
people.
So
People listening, don't break into buildings or anything.
yes,
Not good.
I even said that on my live. I was like, I do not condone you guys coming
Not
here.
condone what I'm about to do.
Even though my live audience was going crazy, they were like, do it. And I'm like, nope, can't do it. Not gonna do it. So
So this is your second stop on this Halloween road trip, correct?
yeah, this is the first stop in New England, but what actually kicked off my trip was going to the haunted Hinsdale house. So
The haunted
the haunted.
Hinsdale house. Now,
Yes.
it is not the haunted demonic Hinsdale house. It is just simply the haunted Hinsdale house.
Right.
Demons.
Owned by Daniel Class.
Daniel
Yep.
Clay.
I actually got to investigate with him on Saturday night. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
So let's
We had
talk
a
a
lot of
little, let's talk a little bit about you spent what, 3 days, 2 nights there at Hinsdale.
Mhm.
You actually slept inside the infamous Hinsdale house. So let's dive a little bit into that this weekend and tell us about your experience.
Okay, so not only did I sleep in the infamous house, I slept in the infamous bedroom of Mary both nights. So that's one for the books, because even like I asked Dan if he had ever slept in there, and he said no and doesn't plan on doing it anytime soon. And from what other people were saying, a lot of people will avoid that room like the plague because of the history of that room. So that was like,
if you guys have seen Paranormal Lockdown with Nick Groff and Katrina Weidman, this is the bedroom where Nick slept. This is the bedroom that always had the flies in the windows. Now, if you also remember the response that Nick got on an EVP referring to there is no heaven, this is the room that little old badass Brie slept.
Yep.
2 nights. 2 nights, people. I don't think that I would give it 1 night. She's in beast mode, so let's talk about that, Brie.
Okay. So it was really interesting, like when you get there, because there's flies all over the house still. Dan has even replaced the windows. They did have a bee issue at one point, hives in the walls. They had to get those removed. So you go into the house and it's still filled with flies. There's flies in the kitchen. There's flies in like every damn room in this place. Like there's even flies in the basement. And so what we noticed though is, and like Billy, who's the property manager, she met with us, gave us the history of the property, the history of the land, showed us pictures, and then she went on her merry way. And while she was sitting there, she actually, the fly activity started spiking in the living room. And she was like, I'm so glad I'm leaving. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what's up with the flies? Well, the flies, they're not like they're little teeny tiny like house flies or like flies you get at picnics. Like these things are like freaking pebbles. And when the activity spikes in Hinsdale, oh my gosh, I'm getting like chills talking about it. So when they're little shits. Let me tell you, these things are evil. They're aggressive and they get mean and they freaking attack you. And when the flies start attacking you, you know shit's about to get real. Like it's like you know that you fucked around and you're gonna find out. So like, and I might have slightly fucked around and found out on Saturday. So
Just a little bit.
just oh, I can't. I'm holding my phone. I can't go that far out with my arms, but you get the point. Well, I look at it like, I mean, I don't go in and I don't provoke and I don't get aggressive. I don't believe in that. I think that's disrespectful to the dead. But I don't have an issue with using EM pumps. And my friend Jeff Finch showed up and he had his EM pump, which is over 2,000 milligauss. And you can't even be in the room with it because it will give you hallucinations. It'll make you dizzy. It'll make you sick. It'll give you a
I
headache.
want one. Oh,
Yeah, it's actually like it's illegal. But he might know a man. um, uh, but anyway, so like we like being there, you find out that these flies get like stupid aggressive. Like they get mean. They all start to congregate in the room where the activity is going to happen. And that was going on throughout the night. On Friday night, we did Estes sessions upstairs. And I'm very open and receptive. I've got giftings. I don't know how you want to say it. Abilities. And so like people were doing the Estes session and it wasn't really going anywhere. It was very random words, didn't make sense. And so I volunteered myself. And of course, while the first person's going and doing their session, I decided that I wanted to sit because when you go upstairs off to your immediate right is Laura's room, which is about the size of a walk-in closet. There's only a bed and there's a doll carriage in there. To your immediate left is the big bedroom that's got the walk-in closet. And off of that room is Mary's room. So the closet has a full length like dresser top mirror that's in there, and a lot of people say that that closet has a portal in it. And I'm one that I don't want to just take your word for it as an investigator. I feel like as an investigator, it's my job to figure out if you're correct or not. You know, like it's not
Right.
like, oh, I heard a noise. Oh, it's got to be a ghost. No, you go and figure out what the noise came from, you know? So they're telling me
so
that
you're saying you use common sense.
yeah, you know, I mean,
what a concept.
Wow.
it-
It's
I
crazy.
got it out of the Cracker Jack box, you know, so
Crazy. It's crazy.
along with my driver's license. But so you know, they're saying it's a portal, and I'm like, well, let's put this to the test. And they've got this beagle, this huge fucking beagle Boo Bear type deal that the collar like turns different lights and the nose or the mouth lights up. I don't know. And I've never seen one of these this size. Like this thing was like you could use it for like a fucking neck pillow on your bed. And so they've got it positioned in front of the closet. And I'm like, well, if the closet's a portal, I want to know if it really is a portal. I'm gonna go and sit in the closet while we're doing this session. So I sit down in the closet and I put my K2 down next to it after clearing and making sure like the area was clear, nothing would trigger it. They put an EMF meter on the other side of the dog, and I even sat a cat ball down. So I'm sitting there and the I've got the beagle between my legs on the floor. It starts going off. My my K2 starts going off, but the cat ball and the EMF meter on the left side wouldn't go off. So, we're getting randomness. The guy starts getting very agitated while he's doing this. And he's like, I'm done, pass it off. And I'm like, give it to me. Let me do it while I'm sitting here in the portal. And we got quite interesting conversation. And actually, like, I got called out a lot. Nick got called out a lot. Different things were actually mentioned that I wasn't surprised it was mentioned, but like it was surprising that it was so familiar with me. And somebody actually wrote down like the 3 different sessions I did the whole time I was in the house, and they all actually make perfect sense. So,
So,
lesson learned for me, like write the stuff down when somebody's doing a session, because it might not make sense in the moment, but when you go back and read it, it will make perfect sense.
so you're saying I got called out?
Yeah.
I got called out at the Hinsdale house.
He got called out at the Monroe house over the weekend.
Well,
He
that's
got
different.
into an
Different.
argument
I
with
was there at the
Well,
Monroe house.
but see, now here's the thing though too, is that Jeff even made the observation on Saturday. Like he said, his personal feeling is that the Hinsdale house will create your haunting, will give you your haunting. And the 3 different sessions that I did, one of my friends and viewers, they wrote down everything that was said, and it was alluding to a sexual, and I actually got inappropriately grabbed on Saturday during my 2nd session. It actually burned my left boob. So,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Here we go
yeah,
again.
boobs.
It's,
Yeah, so it
my
hurt.
that's at my property here.
Yeah.
Ghosties. So if you haven't figured it out yet, this is another first for the Old World Paranormal podcast. Brie is my better half. So there's a
At
reason
least
why
you said better half, so you got it right.
I did say better half. So there's a reason why I was called out at the Hinsdale house, and I've
You did say
never
better half.
fucking been there.
Yeah. It was interesting. So, it actually, when you read everything together with the 3 different sessions, it's like they each pick up where the other left off. And the one I did on Saturday night when I was up and I sat in the closet, well, I sat right outside the closet on that one. And it was just myself and 2 other people, because I kind of came like I was talking to the same person, Mecca, who had written everything down. And in my session on Friday, it seemed like the spirits were getting really agitated with the energy in the room, and they were like, get out, get out. But the tone and the inflection of the get out, it wasn't like, get out of the house, get off the property. It was more like, like you need to leave. Like you're interfering with what's trying to be done. You need to get out of the room. Type get out. And so when I did it on Saturday night, I only had 2 other people upstairs with me. And when you read back what I said, it actually talks about, I'm not gonna lie, okay, like I really enjoyed my time at Hinsdale, but like these sessions, like I'm still processing some of the sessions and like the things that were said. It actually refers to holding Nick back while I'm being sexually assaulted. And it picked up, like we did a session downstairs, and so in my session that I did downstairs, I was the last one to go. In the session downstairs on Saturday night, it was actually like like picking at each person. To out of all of us, there, the team that invited me, there was 4 with that team, 2 women from Canada. Jeff was there. Dan had left at this point, and then there was myself. So that's 4, 6, 7. There's 8 of us. So 2 decided that they didn't want to do it. One guy did it, but all he got was static. So he was like, I'm not getting anything. So he passed on his turn. The girl who started it, like, it started getting kind of deep and morbid. And then Jeff went next, and it started going like picking at Jeff with, and Jeff actually tapped out and was like, I'm not going to give voice to the stuff that it's saying. And when Jeff was asked, you know, well, what is it saying? It was talking about mutilation and killing people that were in the house. So then the next person that went, was Mike, and Mike got really agitated. Like, it really was picking on Mike. Like, he started getting like a ringing in his ears. Now he had been there. There's supposedly a spirit of a male there that's Frederick. And Frederick is known to prefer blondes who are younger and pretty. I was there was only one other blonde with me. I was the younger out of the 2. And I don't know if I was prettier than her or not. I'm not gonna say, I know I don't like saying I'm prettier than somebody. She actually got slapped our first night when we were in the kitchen. Like, something came up and like hit the side of her face. And she said it was as if somebody had thrown something at her. Like, you could actually visibly see her head like knocked to the side from it. And so she had that happen. And I think that was the only thing that really happened to her, from what she, like, from what I was overhearing with the conversation. Like, that was the end, that it personally for her. But with Mike, like, he got really agitated. You could tell that the spirits were really doing everything to piss him off. Like, even like the spirit box that was being used, it started throwing weird noises in there that you could tell was not radio static. It wasn't white noise. It was electrical interference of some sort. Like, he ended up with a headache. He got really upset. And like, when he tapped out, like, he was pissed. Like, you could tell he was really upset. And he slept in Mike's room downstairs. And supposedly the people who sleep in Mike's room, like, they tend to get aggressive and violent. And he did seem to be getting that way throughout the weekend. So it was weird, but it was like, once we were leaving, like, he seemed to be like getting okay. So it was interesting to see how the house plays and how the house does give the hauntings, because like, the other girl from Canada, the blonde girl, like, when she was doing the SB7, like, we didn't have to ask questions. Like, she was just rapid firing, but it was like getting dark and morbid with her. And so we had to tap her out. Well, Mike tapped her out, and Lori went again. And when she went, it actually brought up somebody that she personally knows, and it mimicked his voice. And it scared her so bad, she actually threw her headset in the spirit box across the room. So like, like with what Jeff was saying, like, it creates your haunting, like, it goes for the
That's
personal.
what I was going to say. Is this like, I mean, the Hinsdale house has the reputation,
Right.
but from what you're describing, with everybody that's in that location that night, it's like your most horrible nightmare
Yeah.
was creating itself.
Like
Now,
a horror
Yeah.
movie.
yeah, so like with Daniel being there Saturday, is this something that is prototypical to expect when you go to investigate the Hinsdale house?
I think that it depends, like, because I even asked him. And because of some of the stuff that was coming through my session on Friday night, like, I had orgy coming through, lick your anus, like weird stuff was coming through. And he was like, well, a lot of it's the energy that you bring, and the energy of the other people that are in the home mixed with the history. And on the property, you got to remember, there's a lot of violence that is intertwined with this property in the surrounding area. Um, you got the 2 brothers that legend has, it was a stagecoach stop, and they would take care of the people that would come through and then kill them in their sleep. And they've had it come across on spirit boxes, geo boxes during Estes sessions where women have, said, help me. And like we had the geo box in the basement when Dan was there, and a woman actually came through, and the woman was like, she was like, help me. And I can't remember what exactly Dan asked, but it, she said that she was held, like basically like held against her will is what we took it to be. So there's the belief too, like with the Indians, like when George Washington sent the troops to eradicate the Indians that were causing issues for the troops during the Revolutionary War, that it wasn't just the men that were killed, what happened to the women and children, and it's an ugly fact in history that typically when that type of stuff would happen, the women would have been sexually assaulted,
Right.
and I imagine with the stagecoach stop, if legend is, and you got to think every legend comes from a piece of fact. It's somewhere there's got to be fact for it to
Right.
grow. It's almost
Right.
like the telephone game through the years. So I would imagine, if a woman was traveling with her husband and he killed the husband, that would give free reign for him to do to whatever he wanted to that female. And like for everybody else, it was talking about like mutilation, killing. But with me, for whatever reason, the women were coming through begging for help. I had the men coming through, Brie's kind of crazy. Yeah, she's pretty cool. I like her. Yeah, I like her too. And then they'd be like, Nick, and hold him, gotta hold Nick back. Brie's sexy. Yeah, she's a sexy mama, ain't she? She's a sexy mama, ain't she? Like, and then they were talking about touching me during my session. Like it got real personal. I actually stopped when my full first name was said on my session downstairs, because for it to get that intimate, because I don't use my full first name.
Mhm.
Everybody knows me by Brie. My full first name is Gabriel. So when that got called out, I tapped out at that point. I was just like, I was already feeling slightly uncomfortable as it was, especially after getting my left breast grabbed. But then when they called out my full first name, which I had not mentioned, uttered, said a word about the whole time I'd been there, I was like, this is getting too familiar for you to use that. Like, how would you know that? So like I stopped. So it was like creating for me, it was like if it does create the haunting for me, it was creating the haunting. Like for Lori, it was bringing up who, I don't know the history of Eric, but it brought up Eric. For Jeff, it was talking about the mutilations and the stuff that he doesn't want to give voice to with the evil entities that are there. Mike, it went and made him aggressive. For me, it was a sexual assault and saying, we're going to keep your man back. We're going to hold him back, almost as if like taunting you in a way, saying like, you're not here to protect her. Look what we can still do. So it was like, I almost felt like it created a haunting for you as well. And, Jeff even agreed with that. He was like, it was almost like a twofold haunting. So
Well, Hensdale, I'm coming for you. Bring it on, Hensdale. You never met an investigator like me, so let's see what they can fuck with my head here. Let's go. It sounds like I need to make a trip up there. One more thing about the Hinsdale thing. It is just a fucked up situation for you. So you'd
yeah.
mentioned you had a horrible experience the second night
Mm-hmm.
sleeping in
That
marriage.
wasn't it though.
So let's dive into that, and then maybe move on to some brighter pastures.
Yeah, okay. So like I'm not somebody to run. I'm not somebody to cry. I might yelp. I might put my back on a wall. I've done that in a location, Rock Island, that we were just at for the Paracon. I even showed you where I put my back on the wall, I've never felt fear in my Like, even now talking about, like, I've never felt fear to that extent in my life before.
Mhm.
And, it like, just talking about I got chills. So, like, the first night that we were there, I was in Mary's room. When everybody was going to bed, I was the last one to tap out. I think we all ended up in bed. Like, I think I laid down and it was close to 4 when I finally got to bed. And, I was laying, like, on my left side, curled up. I'd brought my own blanket, so I was, like, under my blanket. And I remember laying there and, like, I'm looking at the dolls, and I can hear something walk out of the closet, and it walked over to the big bed where Lori was laying with her husband, Matt, and then it walked up to Mary's bedroom door, and it paced between the door and the bed for, like, a full 45 minutes. So, like, 40 I'm, like, laying there, and I'm waiting for something, but my room was real quiet. There was no flies, there was no buzzing. It was stone quiet. So, I had a feeling it wouldn't come into the room with me, but I still was laying there listening, and if I had thought about it, I should have grabbed my phone to, like, record it, but I was just like it's kinda like one of those you're in a surreal moment. You're like, somebody it's not like when you're in a haunted location and you hear a knock on the wall. Like, this was just so consistent that I'm just laying there and I'm like, "This is r like, it's gonna stop at some point, right?" Like, but it was
Right.
consistent. Like, I've never experienced 45 minutes solid of listening to something that I can't see walk on a hardwood floor between the bedroom door and the bed, which was really cool because in the morning, Jeremy and the 2 girls from Canada, they slept in the living room right underneath the big bedroom, and they were like, "What the hell were you guys doing?" And they're like, "We kept hearing all this movement." I'm like, "Oh my god." So I tell them, like, what I had experienced, and they're like, we could not sleep. It was so loud with the footsteps, we could not sleep." I was just like, "That's insane, but it's really cool because you heard this too, you're able to validate my experience." So then on Saturday night, I'm the last one to go to bed, and like, we were texting, remember? And I was like, "Damn it." And you had said something, and I was like, "No, the activity's picking up." Well, I had a feeling something was gonna happen because the flies were buzzing all around me, and once again, I'm laying on my left side, facing the dolls, and I'm holding my phone, and, when I said the "damn it," knocking had started in the closet, the walk-in closet in the big bedroom, and, I was just like, "Okay." And I just knew something was gonna happen because Mary's room was full of flies, and the buzzing was so loud. And this is a tiny little room, and it was so loud. Like, was just echoing in there, and, I actually like, when we said goodnight, I put my phone down and I pulled the blanket up, like, around the side of my face because at this point, the flies are actually, like, attacking me, like, they're, like, dive bombing my face. So, as soon as I pulled the blanket up, I could hear banging on the 2 windows in the big bedroom, but it wasn't inside the house, the banging was from the outside.
Oh,
And
that's
that went
interesting.
on for a couple minutes. It was freaky. I'm like, "There's no way you can get to those windows." Like, you would have to have a ladder.
Right.
There's nothing to get to those windows. So, the banging stops on the windows, and then it goes on the wall that the closet door is on, and it starts at the corner, the closest to the windows, and it goes straight down the wall to the wall that would be like the stairwell wall, and it wraps down and going down that wall. And when it hit, like, the doorway for the stair, like, it stopped. And I was like, "Okay, hopefully that's the only show I get tonight." And then I'm listening and I hear somebody walk up the stairs, and I'm listening to the sound of the footsteps, and I'm like, "Okay, it's too heavy to be the girls." So I know the girls aren't coming upstairs, but it's too light to be Mike, so it's either gotta be Jeff or Jeremy who are sleeping on the couches in the living room. It gets to the top of the stairs and the footsteps stop. And I'm like, at this point, I'm literally like, I can't move. Like, I'm just so filled with dread because it was like I just knew something. Like I always tell everybody, your body is your best piece of equipment that you will ever have. It's going to tell you whether it's the hair in your arms or the back of your neck standing up, that feeling of dread. Your body's going to pick up on something that's getting ready to happen, that's by you, whatever.
100%.
And I went into, I literally, it was like I was frozen with fear. I've never been frozen with fear before. And I'm just laying there. And like when the footsteps stopped, and they should have continued across the hardwood floor, I was just like, I don't think there's anybody there. Oh my God, please let it. And I remember just thinking, please let it be one of the guys. Please just let it be one of the guys. The flies at this point are like raging, like they're hitting the blanket. And I'm looking at the dolls, and we had like one of those old key lamps where it's like you can turn on the bottom portion or the top, or you can like turn them both on, or you can put it like on a soft glow. And we had it on a soft glow. So I'm looking at the dolls, and I watched the dolls turn to black. Like it's not a shadow that went over them. Like I can't see the dolls no more. And then the space of wall between the bed and the table with the dolls completely goes black. And I'm just like, shit. Like it's not just a shadow. It's not, it got grayed out. Like I can't, it's pitch black all of a sudden. And I could sense that something walked and was standing next to the bed and had bent down next to me. And all of a sudden, I just get like this deep exhale, like but it was like from the bowels of hell. It wasn't a growl, but it was like a male, and it was like in my face. And it was like with so much force and just like a lot of air. And I pull the blanket back, and I'm like, please just let it be one of the guys. And I look, and I'm expecting a human. I'm thinking, and I'm hoping and praying it's one of the guys playing a joke on me. And I pull the blanket back, and there's like, even now, there's nobody there. I kicked that blanket off so damn fast, and I bolted out of that room, ran into the main bedroom, it ended up my running woke up Lori and her husband, and they're like, what's going on? I filled them in on it. As soon as I filled them in on it, I started hearing noise, and I'm like, do you guys hear that? And now where I'm standing, I can see down the stairs into the kitchen, I can see into Laura's room, and I can of course see into Mary's room where I just flew out of. And they're like, Lori's like, yeah, I can hear it. It's probably somebody coming upstairs to check on us. And I'm like, no, Lori, I can see the kitchen, and there's nobody down there because there's a nightlight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's nobody in the kitchen. And as soon as I say this, you can hear something literally crawl across the wall in Laura's room. Like it's dragging itself across the wall. And I'm expecting something to like pop through the doorway, and nothing shows up. Like it's as soon as it hit that door frame, like it stopped. Now, one thing I want to note too is that like when we got there Friday, that bed was pristine. It was beautifully made. When we woke up Saturday morning, it was tossed. We remade the bed. When we woke up Sunday, when we finally got up Sunday morning, that bed was tossed again. So there's definitely something going on with Laura's room. But so like I'm just standing there, and at this point I'm like, shit. And they're like, are you gonna go sleep downstairs? And I'm like, no. But like at this point I turned around, and I'm looking at them, and I'm shaking so violently, like I
We
can't
can hear
even
you
try to
snorting,
replicate it. What?
I told Sean we can hear you snorting.
Oh.
What do you want me to do about it?
He's snorting flies.
Oh my God. It was
So,
yeah.
I mean, obviously we know the house is fucked up, and there's
Right.
there's a pond up there, right? And then
Yeah.
there's forest. I mean, there's a lot of things. It's not just a house, it's the land. A lot of people talk about how there's stuff with the pond, there's stuff in the forest area around there.
Mhm.
Were you able to check that stuff out, where you just mainly focused on the house?
We did like we went up to the giving tree. Um Now I do want to say I did go back into Mary's room, and I did finish out that second night sleeping in there. So
Beast
I'm
mode.
proud of myself on that. Beast mode, babe. Total and complete. We did go up to the giving tree. I did talk about the cryptids, that the stories I had heard, and I asked them about it. And like on Friday night, I was out there having a cigarette with Mike, and we heard it was like it did the 4 points of directions, like north, south, east, west.
Mhm.
We heard coming from the giving tree, we heard this growl, but it wasn't a growl. It was like a mimicked noise of a growl. I've
Mhm.
never heard anything like it in my life. And it came from that side, then it came from directly in front of me because I was facing the pond. It came from directly in front of me, then it was in front of the house, and it was directly behind us, and it was all under 30 seconds. And
Hmm.
I'm just like, at that point, I'm backing up to the house, and Mike's like, "I thought you don't run." And I'm like, "I don't run from the dead." Like, I haven't ran yet. I don't plan on running. But when it's something that I don't know what it is and what damage it could do to hurt me, like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go to the safety of the house, you know? So I mean, we did hear weird noises while we were out there. The pond is supposedly where the barn was when the brothers owned the house, and like when they would kill the travelers with the stagecoach stop.
Mhm.
In the winter, because of it being in the snow belt with the ground being frozen, they would stack the bodies up in the barn. The barn got torn down, and that's when the pond was dug. So there's a lot of belief that there's like bodies down there. Now, Dan has found, he's actually gone out there with LiDAR around the pond, and they found 4 bodies on one side, and then there's another grouping of like what he believes to be a mass burial of a family. And right now he's actually with the restoration project. They're raising the money so he can properly honor the dead that he has found. So I mean, there's a lot out there. There's a lot to it. Suppose there's a picture that Jeff has of what they believe to be a puckwudgie in the trees up by the giving tree.
Right.
There's a lot of really twisted stuff with this property in general.
Would you agree that, there are some locations that the dead have just taken over,
Yeah.
and this is one of them?
Oh yeah. Hands down. Hands down.
Would you reckon? I mean, again, this is it, what happened over the course of 72 hours here. You know, obviously it shook you to the core. I mean, we had
Mhm.
talked earlier a little bit about PTSD, and you were like, "No, I'm a beast," and I'm like, my thoughts, and I thought about it a little bit later on today, and I want you to answer this question: will you ever forget it?
No, I will never forget what I went
Well,
through at Hinsdale.
so, with that being said, it does kind of give you a little bit of PTSD. It's something that will always stick with you.
I think in that sense, it's definitely an unforgettable experience. It's um with the what came through with my Estes sessions. Um, I think as a female, that's always every female's nightmare.
Right.
Um, being sexually assaulted, and you know, the person that they're with being held back and not being able to help them, you know. And that was bothersome. That was really bothersome for me. I mean, you weren't even there and you seemed to be bothered by it, you know? Um, I think that really hit a nerve for not just me, but like I said, with you. And, of course, getting the ever living shit scared out of me the way I did, I kind of like, when I think about it, because like I said, I felt like it was a male. And with how they were threatening, like the sexual assaults and the verbiage, even the physical grab that I got, it almost felt like they were coming to me, and like it almost felt like it was coming to me and saying like I'm here. Like it was like, there's nothing you can do. Like, I'm here. If I wanted to touch you, I can touch you. Like, what are you going to do about it? And I kind of felt like it tied into my Estes session. So is it something that I'll ever forget? Definitely not. Um, is it going to take a little bit to like shake it off? Yeah, it'll take a little bit to shake that off for sure. Is it
Well,
gonna stop me? Hell no.
no, I know it ain't going to
I
stop
mean,
you. I know. I mean, we've talked about future stuff there, and I know it's not
Yeah.
going to stop you. For me, you know, I'm used to being called out just about everywhere I go.
Yeah.
It is something totally, um, it's different when it's something that you are attached to in a relationship wise. It, you know, especially on a man's aspect of it, you know, it gets your juices flowing a little bit. It pisses you off, you know. I mean, I want to get my truck and head to New York right now, but like kicking the door and be like, fuck you, spirits, type of thing. But that, you know, that will come eventually, I guess. So let's move on from the Hinsdale. So obviously, I don't recommend the Hinsdale house for somebody that is not a seasoned vet.
Right.
I really don't. If you're a newbie, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other locations to go to. I don't recommend you going to the Hinsdale until you get a lot under your belt and you can deal with it. So let's move on. So we got other things that you are working on this beautiful Halloween road trip.
Yes.
So you are collabing with a certain gentleman named Chris Smith, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Now, talk about another fucked up situation.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about Chris and why Chris is so important here, Brie.
Okay. So if you have seen Hulu's Monster Inside, the gentleman who narrates from beginning to end is Chris. And Chris was, when you watch it, at one point he tells you that he felt that Russ, who is the owner and creator of McCamey Manor, um, he felt like that was his best friend. And there's a huge history there. It's very personal to him and for him. He did not know a lot of what Russ was doing. And when he found out the truth, that's when he backed off. But if you don't know about McCamey Manor, it was started off as what was supposed to be a haunted house, and it turned into a house of horrors, basically, with the promise of if you don't tap out at the very end, if you can make it for your whole quote, what they call a show, then you win $20,000. And there is no $20,000.
Yeah, so that's just a ploy for this
Yeah,
gentleman to pretty much fuck you up for free.
basically, because you sign a waiver that basically signs away your whole life.
Well, I mean, legalities. I'm sure there's lawyers around here in the country that are smart enough to get away around that, but the
Yeah,
damage is already done to you, and you are fucked up mentally for life after you attempted to win $20,000.
yeah. So he's the star of this, and it just dropped on Hulu October 12th. And back when I was doing my last big road trip, that he had reached out to me because we have very similar stories of how we got started in our perspective fields. He is mainly with the haunt houses, the like type of like not investigating a haunted house, but like they call them haunts, the creepy Halloween type haunted places. um and he was like, I see what you're doing. We've got very similar stories with how we got started. And he was like, I think we could do an amazing collaboration and like across genre and try to bring the two together and also promote the show that is getting ready to be released on Hulu. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's go for this. Let's see if we can do it. We actually started October 15th. I went up to Michigan and he took me to two haunts up there, trying to scare the ever living shit out of me on. And that I hate the jump scares, but I didn't even I might have jumped a few times and like in a surprise, like but like nothing like what I thought I was gonna get or what he was gonna get. I thought he was gonna get an amazing YouTube thumbnail out of it and totally crushed that dream for him. It didn't happen. But
But Mr. Professional Haunt himself got a jump scare, did he not?
Yeah, he did. He got a really good one when we were at Hush. There
Okay.
was like a bookshelf that you have to walk by, and there's this big gap in it. And I remember just like I'm walking behind him and I'm just thinking, like, don't do the white girl thing, don't look in the hole. And he actually turned and he's like looking in the hole, and like something, like, I thought it was an animatronic, but it was actually a person jumped out at him like through this hole. And yeah, he jumped and screamed pretty, like, he didn't really scream, but like the noise he made, I was pretty impressed with. I was like, ah, got you. But yeah, so now we're working on the crossover where he's going to be doing investigations with me. And we've got a couple different surprises up our sleeve, and one of them is actually what is going to be the last week of my road trip as I make my way back home to you.
So, 2 locations. Now, both of these locations are in the wonderful, shitty state of New York.
Well, one of them still has to, like, we're still finalizing it. So, but yes, they are both in New York.
One location, we're not going to say the name of this location. If you want to dive into it and be like, aha, I figured it out. I was at this location within the last month. Now, what's interesting with all this stuff, and Bree's Miss Badass over here, this is how it's going to get interesting, people. Now, get your popcorn ready. Okay? Go to the bathroom first. Bree is going to be staying at this very famous haunted location by herself.
Yep.
And Chris will be remotely somewhere else in the great country of the United States, chiming in and giving her challenges. Correct?
Yeah, I will have different tasks that I will be
Different
given.
tasks.
Different tasks that I will be given um to accomplish with time frames, I believe, that are going to coincide with different parts of this haunted location that I will be within.
Will you be escaping traps like in a Saw movie?
God, I hope not. This
Bree,
is supposed
I
to be an
want to play a
investigation,
game.
not horror.
I want to play a game.
But yeah, I'm gonna be completely, I like, like, I'm not gonna have anybody with me. I will be completely solo. I will be handling the equipment on my own. The filming, I'll be running off of 2 phones.
So
So
she's on the search of what she once found to capture on video. Right?
There are things in this world
There's just things in this world
that we will never
World.
truly understand.
never truly
Stan,
understand.
Stan.
Aaron, go over there and lock yourself in that room. There's a fucking demon in there.
Okay.
Sorry, little ghost adventures for you.
No, I love it. That's awesome.
So this will be interesting. A lot of people, for one, male or female, will not do locations by themselves, which is totally understandable. Totally
Right.
understandable. I mean, the safety factor alone, physically, mentally, spiritually, you put on. I mean, it's a different level of badass to go into, especially a location that you know is generally fucked up.
Yeah.
It is truly fucked up, and it's been documented. Fucked
Yeah.
up. History wise documented, paranormal wise documented. It's fucked up. Both these locations you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I will sit at home nervously. I will probably just get high and go to sleep so I don't have to think about it. But I don't know. We'll see.
Well, and what's cool is the first location I was actually looking at the information for it today. I actually will be there a total of 15 hours. And actually, no, it's longer than 15. I will be there a total of 17 or 18, actually. So By myself.
Oh, Batman.
So as we're on this podcast right now, I am you should be proud of me. I am multitasking to the fullest. We're currently on a residential case right now that is extremely messed up. And you'd be like, well, we haven't heard about that on your social media and this and that. Well, you'll never hear about it on our social media. There's a reason for that. It's personal. People need help, and I'm not trying to glorify their personal problems for my self gain. But right now, I am
It's bad.
it's bad. I am getting messages blown up left and right to the point where I might have to leave after this podcast. So, okay, the rest of your road trip, you're going around, you're going to highlight specific locations in the New England area just to get them out there and be like, hey, yes, this place doesn't offer things, but hey, you might want to check it out. You never know, in the future they might offer stuff. And you're also going to be hitting up location that you can go and investigate.
Yep.
So Halloween's a huge day for all us spooky loving freakzoids around the world. Where will you be spending actual Halloween at?
I've been keeping that under wraps, but you know what? Fuck it.
You owe me one, so you better drop it on the Paranormal TMZ.
How do I owe you one?
I don't know. Sounded good.
You're just lucky. I really like you. I'll give it to you. I'm going to be in Salem on Halloween.
Salem, Indiana?
Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, that place, Salem, Massachusetts.
Yep, that place. I'm gonna be.
I've never heard of it. What's in Salem, Massachusetts?
Like where like they burned all those women at the stake and they killed
Isn't
the
that where
one
they
dude
make
with all
those cigarettes? Salem cigarettes?
That's where they make it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought that was all wives' tales.
But they weren't really witches, or
That they burned them and all that stuff.
no, they did. They
did?
burned the people. Yeah, they got. Yeah, and there was one guy there was one man who actually stood up for him, and he got tried and convicted. And they actually took slabs of rock and they piled them up on his back until he got crushed to death. So,
Fun.
yeah. Let's put it this way. I'm gonna do my best attempt at Salem. With the crowds, I'm going to try. I'm actually going to be dressed up walking around as well. So,
As a witch?
No, I'm not saying. It's a surprise. You know what I'm going to be. I already told you.
Are you gonna be wearing a hot dog costume?
No.
Will you or will you not be wearing this when you come back?
I am so going to wear it for you when I come home.
Nice. Hi, Sean.
Oh yeah, I'm here. Yeah, still here.
You never know what's going to happen on the Old World Paranormal podcast.
No,
what's up?
What's
up, Russia and India and?
No, don't worry. You'll be extremely happy when I come home. I'll definitely whip that out probably the first or second night I'm back.
She's gonna whip it out. She's gonna whip it out on me, Sean.
I'm gonna come out.
Thank you for joining us tonight on the Old World Paranormal podcast. We'll see you next time.
It's even got the shoes that goes with it. I showed you the shoes, didn't I?
Yeah, Sean left. He's done. he's officially done with this podcast.
Is this bullshit?
Is this bullshit? So yes, the next couple weeks, both of us will be extremely busy. We have a lot going on.
Sounds like it.
This is something. So, if you guys don't understand, I mean, you need to follow Brie on the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, or X, you want to call it, Instagram, TikTok. She is kind of like the newest, brightest star in the paranormal. She's had a lot of opportunities lately presented to her. And, this is not, and, we talked about this. It's not because of the actual road trip itself. I mean, a lot of people take paranormal road trips, and document them. And it's the simple fact that, she's just a genuine person. You wear your heart on your sleeve, and people just tend to draw towards you. So you're growing quite rapidly on the follower scale.
Yeah.
She's done kicked my ass on that aspect for sure.
Sorry,
But of
babe.
course, I'm just gonna put this out there. Just gonna put this out there that she does look a lot better than me, so that might help a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. She just bats those eyes, and here we go. All right, so two secret locations collabing with Chris Smith, Salem on Halloween. What else you got going on?
And then I have got confirmed one celebrity that's doing a ride along with me. The possibility of a second, actually. And then Boston, who does the horror road trip, haunted road trips with Chris, is going to be, we're hoping that we can meet up too, and we're going to be collabing and trying to recreate, possibly if we're able to, we want to try to recreate a scenario that she had happen with Chris on the bridge, the shot that was heard around the world, where the soldiers were marching through. So we're gonna go and try to recreate that, see if it happens with us. There's gonna be different pop-ups, different special locations. I'm hoping to get as far north as Maine, and the possibility of going as far south down into Delaware on this one, because I have been given permission to go to another location, but it's owned by an extremely busy YouTuber. And so I don't want to say it just yet because we're having scheduling conflicts right now. So it might be where you and I are going to have to come back to go see this property.
Right on.
Yep.
All right. So, I mean, you'll probably be wrapping up this road trip around the 8th or 9th of November now, correct?
Yeah. I won't be home till about the 10th or 11th, I think. But
So
I could be home sooner too, depending on the second location, if we're able to get that nailed down completely for the solo.
Okay. So what kind of content, other than just going live for, promoting or talking about locations, what is the other aspect that people should expect from you on your social media platforms?
I mean, besides looking at my gorgeous face, my smart ass comments that I can throw out there at times. One thing that I bring to the table that I think sets me apart from everybody, it's not just my passion for the history and the hauntings, and then my passion for trying to get people to go out there and conquer their bucket lists and save locations, bring attention to them and get people to go to them so we don't end up losing these amazing historical properties and locations, is the fact that I go live whenever I'm investigating. I always go live during the investigation. So I bring my audience along with me. So you're not watching a TV show that's been heavily edited, took 5 days to film, brought down into 45 minutes, and you go, "Oh, that's what an investigation is? Well, that was quick." No, I'm gonna bring you right along with the ride for me. Um, my lives can go anywhere for like 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the location and what's going on and Wi-Fi connectivity. Up to, I think I've had a live go over one of my lives at Hinsdale actually went over 2 hours. So you're right there along with it. You're hearing, you're seeing I mean, the only thing I can't do is give you the feeling and the smells, but
Right.
you're going to be right along with the ride for me, so you're able to experience. And what I love about me doing this is that for the people who are not, for health reasons, able to go to investigations, there's people with allergies who can't be in, some of these buildings have mold, they've got asbestos, that'll make them extremely sick, to people with physical disabilities. They're not able to go up and down the stairs. So, I'm able to bring them along for the ride, along with people who might have financial, constraints, or locate, distance wise. I'm able to bring them along.
Well, it sounds like a good thing. Like I said, a lot of people do the lives. A lot of people do the road trips, but we've talked about this. I mean, it just boils down to you. You're betting on yourself, you're selling yourself, and you're winning. No, people
Yeah.
not in that way. Get your fucking minds out of the gutter. Different aspect. Jesus. But
Yeah, I am. I believe in what I do, and I believe that it's helpful to others. It's something that I love to do. It's my passion. And I'm finally at a point in life where I'm able to pursue this passion, and take the bull by the horns, and I'm riding this bitch down to the ground. So
nice. So recently,
and yeah.
so another thing that's new on your social media platforms, recently you have been added to a specific podcast.
Yes. And it's and there's more coming down the line with stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes. But yes, I was just added to the Spaced Out Radio after hours, which is on Sundays, starts at 10 p.m. Central Time, 11 p.m. Eastern. It's a 3-hour podcast, and I am the paranormal specialist. So I've got a half-hour block every week that I will be doing, bringing the paranormal news, or if I'm on the road like I am right now and I might not have a chance to find out what's going on paranormally in the news, I'm giving updates on my road trips.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's really damn exciting. I've got a few more things that I'm waiting clearance to drop and release, which you know about.
Mhm.
So
A lot of people in the paranormal, you know, find each other, start dating, and intermingle the stuff, and then stuff goes south and it gets nasty. I think this is something that we had put up front when we decided to go about this. That Bree's her pathway is her pathway, and mine is mine. I mean, we'll intermingle here and there and check out locations, but I think as smart adults that we are, you will see us blazing in two different paths and being each other's supporters.
When did you get smart? It just happened recently.
I am a fucking genius, dude. I'm a fucking genius.
Yeah, you're a genius, all right.
I'm an angel for dealing with you 24/7.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I just, I don't want to toot our own horn, but I think for other people in the paranormal community, you want to try to date and do that within the community. I think that's the best way to go. What do you think, Brie?
I think that it does work really well. I'm not trying to come into, old world and but it's the doors are open for both of us to partake in each other's worlds. The pressure is off I think when we say, you know what, I'm going to be here and I'm going to support you and I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader and I want to see you be successful. I'm not going to, and we're not with us not doing 100% intermingling. It gives the freedom for the other person to pursue their passion and know that they've got that support, whether like if you're going out like with what you're dealing with right now with the home investigation, even though I'm not there, that I've got your back, that you can call me, you can text me, and I'm here for you just as much as with me being on the road. If something were to happen, I can get a hold of you and you've got my back. We're able to hold each other down. We're able to bounce ideas off of each other and be receptive to each other through our, through those conversations. But we still have the freedom where I know damn well we're going to be investigating. I know I'll be going out with you at some point, like I already have.
Right.
You're going to be coming out with me, when you're not busy doing stuff with Old World. I know you'll most likely be coming and doing road trips with me. So, or if there's a weekend where you've got stuff and I'm struggling to come up with content, I might go out with you for your investigations. So, it's a really nice balance that we're able to be there and support each other in each other's endeavor. I mean, it's not like when you got to look at it like this. If you have a job, and regardless of like what your significant other is doing, you're not going to quit your job and go go try to work where they're working, um you guys are going to try to be each other's support and there for each other and still allow that person to have their own job, and I'm not knocking people that do it together 24/7. I mean, look at Kalani and Savannah, but it's Kalani that's doing it. Savannah's just there, as his support, and she does help, but she lets him have his stuff. So, I mean, there are couples out there that do it and they do it beautifully, but it's not for everybody. And I mean, who knows down the road, it might be something where it does completely come together. We don't know, but right now this is what we've decided and I think that it works. So, I mean, this me being gone for 3 weeks, I think that that'll definitely be the testament of how, does it really work? At the end of the
Right.
3 weeks, we'll be able to say, did this really work or did this cause any hindrance, So, because I mean, if I'm not doing massive road trips, which I can't do all the time, typically it's just the weekends, that's different.
Right. Well, I do enjoy having my animals back while you're gone. So,
Well, you know what? Mommy will be coming home soon enough. So,
shh, you didn't hear that.
yeah.
All right, Miss Brie. We got some
Yes.
questions to ask you.
All right, go for it.
These
Shoot.
are famous Old World Paranormal podcast questions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. We just pause for effect.
Love it.
Great effect.
All right. First question. Let all our viewers or listeners know in all 40 countries around this globe, what is one interesting or weird fact about yourself?
One
Hell, I might
interesting.
not even know this.
You, um, let's see. Should I go for the embarrassing factor and see if I can make you? Let's go for that. I want to see if I can turn you red. So my stupid human trick is that I can shove my fist in my mouth.
Well, this is it for Old World Paranormal Podcast, episode 85.
I'm over here thinking, you got to show it or I don't believe you. So,
Okay, you want to see it?
Oh, dear
well,
God.
yeah. So does that mean you have little hands or a big mouth?
I got
Or
a big
both?
mouth. Nick got quiet.
That was amazing. Should have screenshotted that.
Ah,
Made that the thumbnail.
You okay, babe?
Out of her
so many
mouth.
thoughts in my head right now.
Okay, next
When I
question.
get home, when I get home, when I get home.
All right.
Nick.
Shit. Next
Where
question.
were we?
All right. You know, every paranormal
He's
investigator
done.
has. Shut up, Sean. Every paranormal investigator has their favorite snacks that they like to take on investigations.
Yes.
So, could be snacks, could be energy drinks. What are your favorites? Let's hear them.
Ghost energy drinks, hands down. Cherry limeade, face pop, which is like the rocket pop popsicles melted down. Oh my god, give me an O mouth right there. And the sour pink lemonade. Those are my go-tos right there for drinks. If I can't get those, then the Starbucks triple shot energy drinks are my fallback, as you well know, just like you. Um, Snacks. I'm a huge sucker for salt and vinegar chips. Love salt and vinegar, but I also gotta have my chocolate. I'm a huge sucker for anything dark chocolate and mint.
Dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate and mint. I
Not,
mean,
not,
I can do
not milk
regular
chocolate?
chocolate and mint too. I can do milk chocolate.
Dark chocolate's the best.
I'm not a
gotta
big
be-
fan
it's
of
gotta
white
be
chocolate
a
though.
unique taste. It's a unique taste.
Yeah, but when you put mint in it, oh my god.
It's like an Andes candy. Those are the
Like I'm
best.
drooling. Hold on. Okay.
Because you just put your fist in your mouth.
I can even lick my nose too.
Okay.
I'm a happy man, Sean.
I'm impressed. And
I was gonna say you better be happy.
we got to put a disclaimer in this episode. 18 and over.
All right. Third and final question.
What was that third question?
What? Yeah, exactly. Last question. So, one night, one investigation, you are only allowed to take 3 pieces of equipment. What are you taking?
K2, 3, my phone. My Chattergeist.
You are literally out of 85 episodes the only other person that is besides myself that said phone.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, my phone. I always take my phone.
Probably the only one who has said K2 meter.
I get amazing results with my K2. If I'm able to clear an area and prove that there's no EMF interference, I consistently get responses to my voice. I don't think I've been anywhere. I don't think I've been somewhere where I haven't been able to get, and I'll get it up to spiking red consistently.
Huh.
I don't know why, but it works.
All right. For shits and giggles, and this might be a future question that we ask everybody, Sean.
Oh boy.
Everybody has a fantasy, all right?
Oh my God. Where are we
Oh
going
my
with that?
God.
You
You're
know,
not. You are.
if you ask the majority of paranormal investigators what is their dream thing to do, and that is to have intimacy or sex in a haunted location.
What have we done?
So
I thought we were joking when we talked.
I'm
about
not gonna. I know your answer, so I won't ask you this question. But Sean, I think from now on, we're adding this question: have you or have you not done the nasty in a haunted location?
Me?
Well, if you would like to answer it, go ahead.
You know my response to that. I mean, does your bedroom count? I mean,
My house is haunted. Where's Sean go? He's a ghost.
Sean keeps dipping out.
I had to step away for a second.
But you know where I want to. So
Okay, Sean, should we or should not? Should we
She's
add that?
I can tell it's the Lizzie Borden house, isn't it?
no.
Damn, I thought I was going to be right.
I mean, that's a
He
good
knows.
guess.
Yeah, he knows where I want to go. He knows where it's going down.
Chinatown. Literally. This is the most uncomfortable we've ever made Sean in
No,
podcast
I'm waiting
history.
for answer.
She didn't say yes or no, did she? Did you say yes or no?
I don't think so. She said, "You know where the location is, though." Apparently,
Well, we can't say that because then if we show up there,
Yeah.
then they're gonna be like, no, 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 no.
Well, you know that at this point, though, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but they're going to be like looking at us like hardcore, checking every footage that they can to see when we're together. Don's going to be like, God, they disappeared for a half hour. What are they doing?
they've been gone for 4.5 minutes. What the hell? Oh,
We were gone for 30 minutes.
give
27
us
minutes I
30.
didn't need.
took 27 minutes to get there.
Oh, shut up.
Jesus.
Yeah, so just if that happens, son, just go with the flow. Just act like it's normal.
My life as an investigator with OWPS is going with the flow.
Just make sure the team stays away from whichever direction we go, okay?
Yeah. Well, we stay away from Nick, so that won't be hard.
All right, Miss Brie.
Yes.
2 minutes and plug away all your social medias so people can know where to find you during this road trip and future endeavors and all your lives and all that stuff.
Well, if they have survived through all of our sexual tension and innuendos, you can find me on Facebook at Brie Hollingshead. You can find me at YouTube under Brie. I mean, anywhere you go, if you type in Brie Hollingshead, you're gonna find me. But my handle on YouTube is at Breeze Baby. It's BREEZE Baby Brie. You're gonna find me under the same handle on Twitter or X, whichever you want to call it. TikTok is at Breeze Baby Brie. Instagram and Threads is _ beautiful deliverance _ I hit all of them, right?
I think
Yeah.
so. There seems to be new ones popping
Some
up.
of those might be changing because we're there's the possibility of having to rebrand and get them all under the same handle. So
It's all about branding and logistics.
New
Yep.
t-shirt. Yeah. Hashtag Breast Mode. What?
Breast mode.
Breast Mode.
There we go.
see if we can get those made.
I know a lady.
So
Yeah.
all her breezies can get the breast mode shirts.
Breast Mode. Hashtag Breast Mode. Make
Love
a trend, people. Make a trend.
Hey, be like Breeze a movement.
It is. Next thing I know, I'm gonna have a tattoo that says it
Oh my God.
on my left ass
Oh.
cheek.
Hey, you did say you wanted a new one, so he's gonna.
All
end up
right.
in a-
I think we've embarrassed Sean enough for one evening.
Again.
I'll say this: if you get that tattoo, I'll get the OWPS.
What do you think, Sean?
Your body, your choice.
All
We
right.
can have a tattoo date, babe.
Yeah. Let's do it. I don't care. Why
All right,
not?
let's go.
Put it on my ass cheek.
Jesus. God help us.
I'm the only one that's gonna see that then.
I know.
No, he's gonna show it to all. Hey, you guys, look at this.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. As I'm
What is
crying,
Br-
as I'm climbing out of the hole at the Monroe house, I will show everybody.
What is
Yeah,
Hashtag
what?
I
be like
love the
Brie.
video that Jen took of that. Should I send this to Brie?
Yeah. So. All right, everybody. We got a full list of people finishing out the year. We put a post out on social media. We want to highlight new teams across the country, and we put a social media post out about that. And wow, holy shit! Um, there's about 30 or 40 teams that have chimed in. If you listen to the podcast, we will get to you eventually. I will have you all written down, and we will start scheduling you at the beginning of 2024 for season three.
Three.
So
Season three.
we want to talk to each and every one of you and see why in the hell you decided to come into the paranormal community, because you might have made a mistake. We're a bunch of weirdos. But
Three.
we want to highlight all you people. That's what we do around here. Of course, talk to the knuckleheads on all your para celebs and TVs and YouTubers. But all right, episode 85 is in the books. Next week we have Bam Ghouls. Bam Ghouls. Bam Girls. Ghouls. So look forward to that. As Sean said, episode 84 was abducted by aliens. Again, go to YouTube, Old World Paranormal Society of Fort Wayne. You will find that video. And you're going to want to watch it, because the video that he produced for us was, I don't know, I'm still scratching my head on some of it.
Yeah, some pretty crazy stuff.
So, once again, thanks for listening to the Old World Paranormal Podcast. Bree, babe, thanks for coming on, having fun, embarrassing Sean. That's always a highlight of my night.
My pleasure. Anything for you, babe. Thanks for having me on.
And obviously, I will talk to you later. But then again, I won't see you for another almost 17 days.
I know. Sad.
I might have to go snuggle up with Sean.
And with that, everybody have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Till next time. See y'all.